hello everyone. Thanks for being part of it. I think this is top. So thanks Abhinav, thanks Krishna Priya to be part of the panelist here. We also added Azhar, but because of some personal reasons, he was not able to make it. Just fine, but we have like two amazing founders who can, and we get more time to ask more questions to them. So that's a better thing for us. So a lot of guys must know about their startup. That's what we wanted to pick and choose the one which are like nearer to the college students and they would know about it. But still, if you could just take 1 minute, because I think for pitching it's important to you talk about yourself and startup within a minute or 2 minutes. You must have done a number of times. Yeah. So if you could take that 1 minute and just talk about your startup, that would be really helpful. We'll start with you.
Sure. First of all, thanks for having me here and an amazing crowd you pulled up on a Sunday morning. So that's a good job. So hi, I'm Krishna Priya, founder of Starbuzz AI. So basically what we do is we build a full creator economy ecosystem end to end. So through Starbuzz AI, we cater to brands and agencies and help them automate influencer marketing, find out which influencer actually is relevant to them and can get them ROI. On the parallel side, we also have an app for the creators called Hey Creators, which help creators to upskill, connect with the brands and get better monetization technologies. So we cater to both influencers and brands through Starbuzz and Hey Creators in a nutshell.
So thank you for this opportunity, guys. So really excited to be here and talk to all of you guys on a Sunday morning. Great that a lot of people showed up. So I am Abhinav. I am the co-founder and CEO of Relon. So in a nutshell, right, so we are essentially a platform where anyone can book a trained videographer. So we call the trained videographer a reel maker, where he essentially comes to your location, shoots your content, edits it and delivers it all under 30 minutes. So, think this as urban company, but for content. So, beneath this layer, right, so we are building the infrastructure layer of, how on-demand content can be created for creators, for businesses, for people, for individuals who host events, who celebrate events, right? So yeah, this is what we do in a nutshell.
Yeah, and this one is also our media sponsor who is helping us cover the event. So thanks for that.
Thank you.
Okay, so we will go back to initial stage, right? The early stage you started these things over there, because most of the students they want to build something and they are in progress of building something, right? We'll go with that. So assume you are at the time where you have to start something, you're thinking of starting your own startup, right? So just take us your journey, like what was your thought in the mind? Was something you guys started with this idea, or was it something else you guys started? The big stories that we hear, right? Like YouTube, Facebook, but we want to hear from the real audience, real founders, right? So how was the journey? The starting part.
Yeah, interesting question. So just a fun fact, I am what you call an accidental entrepreneur. I did not want to be an entrepreneur. I was not stuck that I have to do something in a startup world. I have to go build something big. I was not searching for ideas. Yeah. So it happened very organically. I was a full stack developer at a startup I was working for, and there we saw this gap that everybody was doing influencer marketing manually, and there was no structure. It's a very unorganized market. So I thought, when we are living in 21st century where tech is automating almost everything, why can't we do this? So that was just that tech brain or that itch to build something in this. And I thought, okay, let's give it a shot. And that is how we built Starbuzz. And that is, and before I knew it, we had a product, we had to hire employees. And that is when I realized, oh shit, I have a startup. So it happened very organically for me. It was not something that I wanted to do. But coming to the pivot, this is also an interesting thing. So initially, in the initial days, the rosy days, right, we thought we'll have an app for the creators, an app for the brands. Brands will post their requirements and creators will come apply. So it will be like of this freelancer marketplace. We had everything set, built it and launched it. Once we went into the market, we got this feedback from the brand saying, an influencer marketing agency does this for us. Why do I need to install your app and do it? So that was like, oh, we were thinking the brand's problem was finding influencers. But the actual problem was understanding if this influencer's audience are real or fake. Will this influencer get me the sales or views that I'm expecting? So the entire shift, market perspective that we didn't have, I think that was very important, and that is where the pivot happened to the software that we are building.
So right now you have an app, or you kind of discarded it?
No, we don't have it. It just became a feature of our software right now. Okay. The software is more into the analytics data. It digs deep into where the brand's issue is, what type of influencers they can collaborate with. answer.
Got it, got it. But yeah, that's an interesting thing, right? Like in the morning I was talking to people, right? So that's what I was saying, that idea is something that would, you personally are facing a problem. Like I feel, hey, why don't we have something in that way, right? Like for example, I'll take story, right? I have a daughter, she's 18 months old, so a lot of vaccinations that comes into picture, right? Why don't we build something to track it? Again, it's just in local that they publish it only for my purpose, but the point here is like, anything it could be, like you are facing it, your father is facing it, your mother is facing it, your friends, like she said, right? So think about that, build it. AI is helping you build, right? Like engineers is completely right coded. So you could build it. Again, we don't want, like Krishna Priya said, don't build it completely. There's something called an MVP. You build minimum viable product, you pivot in the market, see how it is going to there. But yeah, a really interesting thing.
One important thing I want to add on that is a founder should be open to getting feedback from the market. You can't just be blindly in love with your product, blindly in love with your idea and think that market is not ready. When market is telling you no or it is going slow, those are signals that you have to take, and you have to understand that it is time either for you to pivot your business model or your product, or make something with it, because market signals are very strong. You can't ignore this.
Great to hear that. Abhinav, we would like to hear your.
So that made a lot of sense, right? And contrary to my journey, I am a CBIT graduate. I passed out of college in 2025. So right in college, right? So in our in our second year when I was in 2023, right? So I always wanted to join an early stage startup, predominantly in Indian consumer space. So I always thought, I would start something of my own at some point of time in my life, but I did not expect this to be this early. So what essentially happened was, I gone through this, Aditya Birla portfolio company called Nobera, which was building a category that I personally felt, like a niche market. So I directly reached out to the co-founder of the company, and he was kind enough to reply me back in my early stage, and nurtured me a lot there. And again, it was so the problem statement that we are solving for is booking a videographer, right? So all this happened when we were just planning a small event for my sister's birthday. So in the current world, right, in India, we are used to extreme convenience. All thanks to quick commerce, or even house help is solved in minutes, right? So the credit goes to Urban Company or the Snapbit Pronto, which they're solving for. So booking a videographer in India still was a problem. And for my sister's birthday, as I was looking at a fair price point, I couldn't find a reliable videographer. And even if I found one, I had to wait for content. We almost waited for 3 weeks, which was like borderline cruel for in a country which is very extremely convenient, right? So this was the problem statement that we wanted to solve for, and glad that I met my co-founder, who is my college senior, and we complement each other a lot. So that is how it happened. Again, initially, right? So it was just an MVP that we thought of building. So instead of again, we did not have a real conviction of building a platform where anyone can book a videographer. So what we did was we said we'll just go with the market instead of building with assumptions a lot. So as I really had good experience and cultivating how early stage consumer startups looks like, right? So what really happened was we took a couple of videographers from our college club. So we went to an event management company, and we also went to a couple of creators who need regular short form content, and we wanted to just test if there is real delight in delivering a video quickly in 30 minutes, right? So that is the starting point, and again, it is always important to understand the market, go through the flow. So that is something that we have learned over the journey.
Great to hear. And again, the same thing, right? Like there's a problem that you faced, and it's not why don't we do it. So I think that's a very good convention of it. One question to Krishna Priya, right? Like he said, he started when he was in college. He was seeing this problem. So I want to understand, back in college, like your last year or something. How was it? What were your thoughts running behind the job, or like how your thoughts were like? Just wanted to understand.
Yeah, sure. So, again, one more fun fact about me. I was a nerd. I'm a college topper, state topper. So, I did not have such thoughts as to where I would end up because it was all pretty straightforward and sorted for me. After even during my graduation in the fourth year, I got into 4 MNCs.
Oh.
But then, I mean, that is where it started. I wanted to take the road less taken, and then I joined a startup where I got exposed to all this world, and that is how this whole journey started.
Oh.
So I think I had the entrepreneurial mindset always, but never thought I would start something on my own. So yeah,
more like joining a startup, helping them grow.
No, not helping them grow. I just did not want to be one of the crowd. Like, let's take any MNCs. They hire some hundreds of people from my college. So I didn't want to be one among the crowd. I wanted to take the road less taken. This was back in the days when startup was not even very fancy.
Okay.
It was just a 4-member team. I joined that early stage startup to kind of explore what it feels like. What is this hype about startup? What do you even do? How do you build a product and all? So yeah.
Great to hear that. So yeah, that's the thing, right? Like you try, you build, also you try some startup, you learn with them, and eventually you build your own. So there's a fancy title that founders of this are chief of staff people got nowadays.
Yeah.
I think Zomato has made it more popular with that.
Zomato actually started the trend, so yeah.
That's the thing. So since you're in college, we'll take a different question, something similar. I think you both guys are graduating this year in your college.
Okay.
So what would be your next step?
Obviously I've done something in AI, right?
Okay.
I've done some course in AI. So, so if I graduate right now this year, I think I'll join a startup again, something in an early stage, something in the AI space for me to explore more and understand how things get built from scratch. I'll still take the tips.
Yeah. I know you graduated last year, but still I think you're still graduating this year.
If at all, if I graduate this year, right, I would still, pick an early stage consumer brand which is, building in India. And, I am the one which, loves solving in closer. I'm the one which loves solving in consumer space more than, the tech world, right? So I would choose early stage Indian consumer brands.
Great answers. And yeah, this was more I wanted to understand from the college life, how, because we have students here, and the aim of the TGTMX is to help them, whether it could be get a job or to have this entrepreneurial mindset to start something and all. So that was the thing. So let's move on to the next stage, next level, right? Like, okay, you guys started your things. You already said about how the things are started, right? So let's talk about the challenges you guys face. So every startup goes through challenges for sure, right? This start them outside, but inside this challenges always. So just let's talk about a bit on that, so that there's a kind of ground reality or phase that people do understand all the things. And I guess every challenge is something that can be overtaken. So the challenge, and how did you overcome that?
You want to?
Yeah, you can start it.
So again, right, it was, it is very fancy from the outside world to start a startup and, say that you are the co-founder or CEO of, of some company, but it is not the same with, it is not the same inside, right? And, one challenge that we always face was, early stage hiring, right? So we couldn't find, people with high accountability or drive initially. And that was one challenge that we are still, waving through. And, again, it is all listening to the customers, right? So, as we love the idea, right? So that is how we'll enter into the market. But, people often fall in love with their product, so that, they'll not be, understanding if the consumer really wants to pay for it, right? So, listening to your customers is something that is very important, early on in your, startup. And, hiring for, intent is something that we have figured out, which will play a significant role in the journey.
Okay, great to hear that.
Okay. So, like Abhinav was mentioning, challenges will be there, and challenges keep evolving as the startup scales. So, like in the initial stages, it will be the hiring problem. Later on, it will be the working capital. Later on, it will be the cash flows, whatever. So the challenges just keep evolving as the business grows. It's not like it'll ever end, or if it just go this phase, the whole trap that we were in when we were kids. 10th hypotherapy, internet hypotherapy, that never happened. And that's a trap. Just like that, even this is a trap. So if you solve for one challenge, there's something else waiting for you as you evolve. But one thing that helped me, or one thing that was useful to face any challenge, was the mind shift or the mindset shift. So one small example, right? When you build a startup, you go to customers and try and sell your product. You listen a lot of no's there. You listen at least 100 no's to 1 years in your initial stages with your customers, with your employees, with your investors. So in the initial stages, you'll get used to listening to no's a lot. So instead of taking that no personally, I am understanding why the no and why did they react the way they react. So maybe separating the problem and understanding why the no and understanding the reasoning behind it and working on it will help you furthermore. So, just that mindset shift will help a lot in facing any challenges as the startup grows. And one more thing that helped is, I think, because all the students here are in the early stages, this will be very useful for you. You have to be very shameless if you are starting something. You have to go out there, put yourself out there, keep asking, and the maximum somebody will say is no. They won't put you on this shot and kill you, right? So I think that is one more mindset shift that is needed.
Be extrovert more of, per se.
I'm an extrovert for the business. You need not change your personality entirely, but you have to constantly put yourself out there and ask more.
You have to be constantly on your toes to figure out something, right? So there are a lot of uncertainties that comes out in the way that you are traveling through, and you have to always keep that motivation high in your team and yourself.
Definitely, and I have a question related to the same thing, right? So you guys are mostly B2C, B2B2C, where you directly work with customers directly, right? And you get a lot of customer interaction that you're talking about. This is very important. So I have two questions, the same thing, right? First thing is, how frequently you guys do this interaction directly with the customer, not with the call, but face to face, or like we have like Dipender goes on by the delivers, he used to do it. Like how frequently you guys do it and how important it is. It's not just for the sake, but how important, how help your business. Second thing is a strange story that with customer that has happened that you remember. It could be like something wild, something that happened where you went with something, but unexpectedly you started taking something wrong or something. Anything it could be. So these two things will help people understand, right? Like about the same thing, our startup journey, how the things are, how the struggles, and how can you improve and learn on that. So we'll start with you.
So the most important thing in running a startup, right? So it is always listening to your customers. You have to treat your customers like God, right? So they'll be telling you a lot of insights that you would never understand sitting in office. And we always we deal with at least 100 customers every day on a daily basis, right? So the data points that are there, the insights that different customers give, the reviews that they write, so these are very important, and they will play a very pivotal role in building the startup, right? And coming to what you have asked, right? So I sometimes go to our orders as well, where I'll randomly pop and understand how are our partners behaving with the customers, how they are treating the customers.
You do the shoot as well?
No, I am not very creative, so I don't really have skill in that shooting part. But I understand nuances very well, so that is something that played a nice role for us.
Got it. Right.
So coming to customers and how frequently I interact, I still don't think we are big enough that I let go of this, because customers are the core of the business, and I still sit in every product discussion, every demo call, and every customer group that we have. I still talk to customers with their market strategies, how they should involve and how they should get onboard influencers. So I'm heavily involved with customers, and I keep taking their feedbacks, be it in the form of strategies, be it in the form of how my team is interacting or how the product is evolving. So that is something I'm always very hands-on with the customers, because operations and customers is one thing that is core to us. And one funny thing, one experience that I had was it's not a life lesson learning kind of a thing, but a funny sort of a thing. So back when we were a 3-member startup in T-Hub, there was one article about Starbuzz and me on UMI magazine.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the customers has seen it and he called the office number. And I happened to pick up the call because it was just 3 members and I used to handle all the calls. And he spoke about the Starbuzz, he spoke about how he was using the product, everything. And at the end of the call, he said, convey my wishes to your founder, Priya. I think she's doing a great job. So all this while, he thought he was talking to a receptionist or a customer service executive. He did not realize he was directly interacting with the founder. He thought it was such a big deal or whatever. So yeah, that was one such funny, wholesome interaction.
But it was more about positive side, right? I want to hear more towards funny side or negative side. That's what I want to hear because that will help people to understand. Right?
Negative side, oh god, you get a lot of negative reviews or you get a lot of
funny.
Not, I mean, there's a lot where a customer says that why this button isn't blue instead of red. I wanted this color. Can we customize it this way? Those are some funny on the spot interactions that we have.
Yeah, good. Yeah, it's always good to get connected, right? No matter what stage it is. I mean, early or later stage, right? And it's more better you always keep on doing it. And that's again, more if B2C or B2B2C can do it. But B2B is something that you interact with business side of it, right? You don't get that kind of opportunity.
No, but B2B you deal with only so many of people, right? Maybe you'll have maximum of 1,000 customers or 2,000 customers. It won't grow beyond that.
Yeah.
So managing relationships or maintaining that in B2B is more important and much more easier also.
Yeah, easier wise is more, but B2C is challenging because you can find 1,000 different mindsets. So that's the thing, right? So yeah, definitely. Yeah, story from your side.
So one funny story, like you asked, right? So a lot of people used to call us when we were a really small team. I used to handle the complete sales department. I only used to have one intern, who is working with me in terms of sales, right? So people used to call me up. People used to ask. I used to pick the call as a sales, associate, and people used to, ask me if the founder will come for the, videography service, right? So that seems, that was a funny moment for us as well. But again, we had to navigate through it.
I think we could say founder can come, but we'll charge you 10K.
But I'm not someone who is very skilled at that, right? So
no, you could just hold the camera, right? Your team should.
Definitely, we will try this.
You can try because this is the trend I'm seeing in Instagram, right? Like I think in Bangalore, a couple of people have done it, like delivery by founder, like it and it.
I think Swish has done it recently.
Yeah, but you can keep it reach to me at that point.
Definitely.
Okay, Anvika, are we on time or I can keep on talking? Just keep on time on it. We are doing very interesting talks and everything, right? I'm really liking it. Yeah, so now to students, right, who are starting up this journey. So you started right out in the college, you started towards that over which is accidental thing that you started. So if you have to, a student comes and say, hey ma'am or sir, I have this idea, I want to do something in this, again consumer space. Like it could be D2C as well. So what would be your question? Like go ahead and try it, or okay, keep on doing it, researching about it, but join something which. So what would be your instinct? Like what do you guys say?
So I would any day suggest any student, right? So to work in an early stage startup, so that you'll understand what it actually needs to build something real. So starting up directly is not something that I would advise. And if I have to, and what is the second question?
Yeah, like what questions you would say, like what advice you would present?
It is like one principle that we always follow is make it exist first, and we can always make it perfect later. So you actually have to go into the market, talk to customers, understand where the industry is heading towards, understand the problem statement that you're solving for, and see if a customer finds value in choosing you, be it if you're saving time, if you're saving money, or if you're saving the effort of the customer, right? And it is always important to see through customers' lens and always reiterate the things that you had assumptions for. And again, it is rather execution than thinking of a lot of ideas. Stick to one idea which you feel like solving for, which has large market for, and I think you will be sorted.
Great.
I have a slightly different take on this. So I think it completely depends upon the individual and the risk appetite, right?
Okay.
So because I think starting up something has become quite easy these days, given organizations like PG10X, E-Themes, Bower School, right? There's lots of community and lots of people that are ready to help somebody if they're trying to start up these days. So if you have enough risk appetite and if you know what exactly you are solving for, then I think you can just jump right in the startup world because you're quite young and you have a lot of years to experiment, waste, fail, and then succeed. So if you have that risk appetite and you have the community around you to build, I think it's wise for you to start up now so that you start up, fail, learn, and then build again right after 3-4 years. That makes sense. But like Abhinav was saying, if you don't have, if you know you want to do something in the startup space or you want to start up something but you're quite not sure what, then maybe joining a startup would make much more sense because you'll understand the ins and outs of running a business, how things work in a startup, and then you can make a call as to which idea you have to pursue.
Makes sense. I think good to have two different perspectives, and
I think it is a double-edged sword, right? So you have your own things.
Yeah. That's I was thinking, right? If you right away started, you have more options to start. Stage like vice versa, but good thing, right? Both is needed. And one thing I could relate
boils down to the individual more than anything. So the individual will understand the urgency, and he'll take the right decision.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and one thing that Krishna Priya said, I really value. I really look forward is like risk appetite that you talked about, right? Like,
correct.
Yes, it's the risk appetite if you could take a risk. And when you say risk appetite, it's not just a small word, just one word, right? It's a complete sentence altogether, things to be done, right? So if you could do it, well then you go ahead and do it and all. But then suppose same thing, right? Similar thing. So if you have list 3 important skills for entrepreneurs, especially in B2C, what would that be? Because you both have that, like 3 important skills that they could understand, okay, I have these things and I need to develop that to be an entrepreneur.
Okay. So this is not just in B2C or D2C space. Anywhere an entrepreneur should have these things, and quite not relevant to any startup that they are building in. One is, like I said, the founder is the salesman first. You are selling your vision starting from your parents. You have to convince your parents you are building a company. So you have to sell your vision to your parents, to your customers, to your clients, to your employees, then your investors. So be okay to sales. So I think sales is one important skill an entrepreneur should have, non-negotiable. 2 is the mindset that a no is not a setback, but rather it's a feedback. So one more important thing an entrepreneur should have is being comfortable with failure. So once you start something, it's not guaranteed that you succeed immediately, or let's say a feature or a product or a startup, anything. You have to be comfortable with reiterating. You have to be comfortable with failing 10 times to get that 11th time perfect. Yes. I mean, we are wired in a way that failing is wrong. You have to be right. Mm-hmm. So that is one other important skill or a mindset that an entrepreneur should have is being very, very comfortable with failure and understanding why he failed, and then making sure that he won't repeat that or he won't fail for the same reasons again. So sales is one thing. Being comfortable with failure is the second thing. And third is understanding that the problem you are solving for could be from your own lens. You thought the customer is facing ABC problem, but once you go to the market and talk to the customer, they may be facing something that is completely not relevant to what you thought. Maybe their main pain points are XYZ. Not even the ABC is not even in their top 3. Mm-hmm. So the market readiness or listening to the market should be your third thing, however big you be.
Got it. So summarizing, salesperson, like you said, being shameless and selling things. Second thing is accepting failures. No, which I think every B.Tech student will have that kind of indirectly thing. Third one, if you have to summarize into one word.
What did I say?
Being a customer lens, so if you have to summarize like
market survey or market readiness.
Yeah, market survey, perspective of that. Like the whole saying, wear customer shoes, wear customer's hat. So something in that way. Yeah. So these 3 is important. Good. Good to know that. Your perspective.
So as Priya just said, right? So sales is the backbone of any startup, and you have to constantly sell to your customers, your employees, your investors, your parents, lot of your circle, right? So hands down, the first point would be that. Second would be understanding from different points of view, right? So you have to always have this lens to understand from everyone's perspective, so that you will be able to figure out what is right, what is wrong for you. And the third one, finding a right co-founder, or if not, finding a right mentor, which will significantly impact the journey that you guys are having, right? So it is really tough to run a company or run a startup, right? So you always constantly face negativity around you, negative reviews around you, and you at the end of the month you might not have cash flow properly to pay your bills for as well. So all these things will be slightly easier with a right co-founder or a right mentor with you. And thanks to TG10X, which is significantly implanting finding right mentors for different people.
Yeah, definitely. And the point, the thing is like having the right partner, having the right co-founder or a mentor is equally important. I totally agree. And it's not just for startup, it's for anything. Like career point of view, want right mentor who can guide you in a correct direction. So back then when I joined, even I remember I graduated way back over there. So when I joined, I had the correct mentor who guided me in the career. Hence I'm here. So that's definitely a very point over there. So guys, you guys have heard the important things. So if you're preparing to get to their company, any company, you guys know what you guys need to prepare and be ready with yourself, right? Yeah. So students, right? Like you said, initially 3, now you started growing, you're growing. So do you look forward for hiring college students? It's like whether you hire interns like who are early in the college, or you try to hire post. And what's the time? Again, you talk about the 3 skill of founders thing, but for you're talking intern, right? What things you look at? And how important CGPA is, like your marks, your score. Just wanted to understand how important it is.
Okay, sure. So we always have at least 4 or 5 interns in our office that are studying as well as doing this. So that is one. And one more important thing that we notice when we hire a student is coachability. How open they are to learn new things and how fast they can adapt. CGPA is irrelevant. We don't even look at the certificates. We don't even look at which college and of course we look at the college, but not the percentage or anything. It's quite irrelevant because frankly, student with 50% often outperform somebody with 90%. The things we think as shortcuts would be something that they will be very good at. They'll be very good at optimizing certain processes. So CGPA is not very relevant as long as they are open, they're creative, coachable, and easy to adapt, fast to adapt. These 3.
Got it.
I think 70% of our company is run by college students or interns, right? So,
oh, great.
The average age of our company is somewhere close to of an employee working in our company is 22.
Oh.
So, I mean, we are a very quite young team, and and we hire for intent, right? So rather than CGPA, skills, pedigree, we only hire for intent because intent is something that cannot be taught. And how fast a person can adapt to the culture that we are building is something that is also very important. So I think these 2 are something that we usually look up to in early stage hiring.
Great. Yeah, and I agree with that. The intent and the learning things, and also, yeah, guys. One more point to take a note about what we look at for the students in the things. One thing before we move on to the next section, right, that I have, what Gen Z, right, like you are young Gen Zs, you are a lot of interns, so just Gen Z, right, and you keep on seeing on Instagram, like, what Gen Z does and how they behave do it. So, again, some funny story about Gen Z, right, just एक माहौल बनाने के लिए. Nothing else. So it's just Instagram for nothing in the real life.
Yeah, actually, Gen Z are quite efficient.
Okay.
They are nothing like how Instagram portrays, at least in my experience.
Okay.
They are efficient, they get stuff done. It's just that if they are on leave, they are on leave. They don't respond.
They don't do overtime.
They don't do overtime.
It's the timing.
Yeah, but the time they're working, they're efficient. So there's no funny stories as such. But
nothing as such. It's just on Instagram.
It's just on Instagram.
Okay.
I think I think our app developer intern just did a mistake last night pushing the wrong code, and so we were figuring out all those things. That is the funny story that happened today. But Gen Z are quite so we are seeing a lot of drive in people, right? So people who are constantly applying for internships, right, in their second year of college, third year of college. So people want to do something, and all they lack is direction. So if at all, if they are if the direction is given right, so I think they'll do wonders.
Yeah, I totally get it. And in our digital volunteer, right? I'm not Gen Z. Think there will be a lot of Gen Z volunteers, and it's really great working over there. And
see on a Sunday morning how many Gen Z showed up.
Very much, very nice thing over there. Okay, so we'll write the last question that I had. Try to intentionally keep it in the last. It's related to AI. AI is everywhere. We will talk about a lot about AI. I thought, let's talk something else. So most of the things related to that. So let's come to that last thing. What we talk about AI, how it is used. Forget about the tech part. Building, or using the tech, or AI agent, forget about that. Apart from that non-tech. Where do you think AI is helpful? Where you guys are using it actively? It could be for generation, search, image creation, whatever it may be. How, just want to understand the other perspective of AI, right?
Okay, so I think when the AI wave has started, right, so there's always internet waves. There's either .com wave, and after that came the big three wave. Now we are in the AI wave, where you cannot ignore AI anymore. You have to ride the wave so that you don't get left behind. So that is one thing. And when the AI wave started, everybody started saying that people will lose jobs. But on contrary, AI is getting a lot of jobs on the data mining side, or on the other sides, which the technical aspects that I'm not going into. But having said that, the AI has actually increased the speed at which the company is performing, my team is performing, and has also increased their efficiency at least by 2-3x. We use AI in everything. I think that's all. We use AI in everything, right from content creation, content writing, the website, like you said, the white coding that you do, we do that, and of course there's AI ML that we use, image generation. So even in the research, right? So there's AI integrated in every workflow that we do.
I think the mic is also not very AI thing over there. That's fine. You could take this one.
No, that's fine. So I was really adapting it up. Yeah,
okay. You can take this one.
Yeah. So we are looking at AI in every aspect of our journey, right? So right from sales to scripting, content creation, the ads, the performance creatives, everything, right? So AI has always been an enabler for us. And with the lean team that we have, AI is playing a significant part in improving our efficiency and reducing our costs by a mile.
Good to, I think it's not working, but yeah. Good to know about that. And like I said, intentionally I try to keep AI in the last because I think everywhere you go, you hear AI, which is important. Again, we can't really ignore that, right? You have to be along with the wave. So yeah, the last question was that. And with that, I would like to end the things. There are a lot of things to talk, but Gen Z, EMC had like given me time and all, which is good. We have to run on the based on the time. And yeah, thanks for you coming like early morning, coming and helping people understand about startup or your journey. And I think definitely this will encourage some of you guys here to build. And the guys are here around you, can talk to them. We have co-founder of Relon as well, so you can talk to him as well, so they can give you a lot of perspective and all. And don't ask about job. I'm just saying what you can. Okay, thanks for that thing.
To stay informed about the startup ecosystem, subscribe to My Startup TV.